Okay. Can everyone hear me okay? I can hear myself. Okay, welcome everyone to Dan and Kendra's wedding. I'm the best man, aka Simmo. And my job this evening is to talk to you about Dan, who I've known for a good 20 to 21 years now. Dan, it's a great pleasure to be here tonight and to be your best man and to talk on your behalf. And yeah, it's great. So let's get started. I first met Dan prior to a maths lecture in 1997, and I thought he was seriously annoying. Nothing much changed there, to be honest. I thought he was annoying because he thought he was funny, and nothing's changed there either. Anyway, being a good class clown, I saw him for one and the same, and a competitor, so I thought I can't have this on my turf, so I stepped in there and a class clown off ensued. And to great laughter and applause. And in the meantime, while this was carrying on, the lecturer came in and started lecturing, and he wasn't impressed by the commotion, and we were swiftly ejected from the lecture theatre. So being ejected from lectures became, well, it wasn't an isolated incident, let's say, that semester, and unfortunately I failed maths. Dan sailed on through, of course, being, yeah, a jerk. And hey?
It's quarter Asian.
Yeah, okay, sure. He said that, not me, all right? So despite all this, a strong friendship was born, and we collaborated on many projects and ideas going forward, some with limited success. So our first bright idea was moving in together in Chatswood. And this survived a total of 1 year, after which Dan was replaced with somebody who didn't wake me up at 3 a.m. all the time on a weeknight. During this time, I managed to gain some experience with Dan's domestic behaviours, and I have some observations which I think may be interesting to Kendra. Just some quick ones, you know.
You should have told these before the wedding.
Well, look, this is my opportunity. I'm taking it, all right? What is this, a conversation? All right, so Dan's cooking was conducted with such thoroughness that the food was usually reduced to a blackened char. Just to make sure, you know. Washing of clothes was infrequent, and it was preferential for him to just basically steal my clothes instead, because that was easier. And
should have happened before the vow.
so watch out for that. Just hide your best clothes. You never know. Also, if you have a computer, just, you know, if you want to use it, he'll already be using it. Don't bother. And also, Dan seemed to think it was the best time to have guests over when you were trying to sleep. And that was pretty much it. Those are my observations. So, despite all these challenges, we continued to collaborate on a number of projects, some of which I will now detail. Firstly, a mockumentary series in script form called The Venusians, about a bunch of try-hard pickup artists. That we kind of got distracted, and that turned into a series about a supernatural monster hunting neighbourhood watch. And this got shelved when we discovered that we didn't know how to write scripts. Quickly forgetting this lesson, we moved on to our next project, which was a movie script in which Bruce Willis assassinates Santa Claus, entitled Captain Wacko Saves Christmas. Thanks, Omar. Unbelievably, yeah, that cost me a lot of money. Unbelievably, how long have I got for this? Unbelievably, there were no takers for that one, but we're still hopeful. Now, another ill-conceived plan of ours was an experimental rocket engine, a space rocket, thoughtfully designed on a whiteboard in Bondi one evening when we were drunk. And when I realised Dan was actually serious about testing this highly explosive device in his mum's backyard, I pulled the plug on that one. Yeah. So this was also for the best because he's an injury-prone man. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to list them out because we'll be here all night. But look, if it were not for the medical practitioners in his family, we probably wouldn't be here this evening. So at this time, none of these ventures have seen the light of day, but we're still hopeful that one day some of these fantastic ideas will be revived. Okay. Right, so Dan is a determined man. He's full of surprises. And I think this was epitomised recently in how he left a successful career in corporate recruitment to start over in something he was more passionate about. 4 years of hard work later, and if anyone needs a light bulb changed or their house rewired, Dan's the guy. Exhibit A, over here, and B, yeah, round of applause, folks. Yep. Now, I'm pretty confident it's all perfectly safe. The exposed wiring's a nice touch, Dan, on your vintage theme. Okay. So, sometime later, Dan, much like the Russians, thought he would try to meddle in the US elections. And during the fever pitch of the US presidential campaign, he decided to fly to America to help out Bernie Sanders. So, shortly after Dan's usual sort of holiday radio blackout, he usually disappears off the grid, he started to appear tagged in some Facebook photos with a mysterious, attractive female tour guide. So, yeah, a big goofy grin on his face too, and looking a bit smitten, I thought. So I struggled. He's a hard man to track down. And for 2 weeks, I struggled to get hold of him, and eventually I got hold of him. And I said, "What's the lowdown? What's going on? Who's this girl?" And he started gushing, and my suspicions were correct. He was indeed smitten. So an international whirlwind romance ensued, and including a crusade around the Caribbean, meeting the parents, Kendra moving to Australia, and bringing us to today. I've since had the pleasure of getting to know Kendra and spending some time with her. She's a beautiful, strong, independent woman with an excellent family around her. And like Dan, she has a passion for social justice. She's a match for any bullshit Dan might try to pull, and a much-needed veto to his occasionally foolhardy plans. I refer you to the earlier failed projects I mentioned. I was also relieved to find out that she was a nurse, so that Dan would have much-needed medical expertise on standby for the next phase of his accident-prone life. Dan and Kendra, love is easy. Marriage, however, can be hard. Looking at you both and the love you clearly have for each other, I can tell that no difficulty will be too great, no roadblock insurmountable. And of course, with the added support of all of us here, you'll have a long and happy future together. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please stand even. Can we stand? Anyone who can stand? And raise a glass. Raise a glass. Thanks, mate. To the bride and groom. And just before we're done here, ladies and gentlemen, and to the lovely bridesmaids too. The bridesmaids. Crushed it.